This OKC Thunder story is insane, or in 2012, the Oklahoma City Thunder had one of the most exciting young rosters in NBA history, a trio of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, all under 25, making the NBA Finals together.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are headed to the NBA Finals.
People were already printing dynasty flags, and then they fumbled it. Harden left because they wouldn't pay him. Durant pulled the most spineless move in superstar history by joining the team that just beat him, and Westbrook, loyal to the end, was eventually traded away too. The talking heads buried Oklahoma City, third smallest market in the league, no superstars left, no hope. They said it would take decades to matter again. It only took 6 years.
Space, getting going early. SGA, a couple of field goals.
Hey, finish it. And just look at Hartenstein trying to carve out space for SGA to get to his spot.
We need a challenge here on that. We're challenged to foul.
The letter that started everything. On July 25th, 2019, 9 days after trading Russell Westbrook to Houston, Thunder general manager Sam Presti sat down and wrote something that would define the next half-decade of Oklahoma City basketball. While published in the local paper, it was part vision board, part therapy session for a fan base that had just watched their last remaining superstar get shipped out of town. Presti didn't promise quick fixes. He didn't promise anything flashy. What he promised was patience, discipline, and a refusal to chase shortcuts. For a fan base that had spent years watching franchise players walk out the door, it wasn't exactly the hype speech they were hoping for. But looking back now, that letter was the blueprint for one of the most methodical championship constructions in NBA history. 6 days before writing that letter, Presti had already made the move that would change everything. He traded All-Star Paul George to the Los Angeles Clippers, and in return he got back what looked like a garage sale of assets. 4 first-round picks, 4 unprotected future first-round picks, a protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, Danilo Gallinari, and a 6.6 wiry second-year point guard from Canada named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 3 assists in his rookie season. Solid, sure. But nobody, and I mean nobody, had future league MVP written in their notes next to his name.
Driving in, off balance somehow. He spins it in with the and one.
Rattle the Richter scale. Takes a hard hit right there on the head as well. And he puts that English on it, man.
Presti did though, and that's the difference between him and everyone else. The art of being intentionally terrible. For a small market team, there are basically 2 ways to build a contender. You either get incredibly lucky in free agency, or you tank, draft well, and develop. Presti chose option 2, and he committed to it harder than most teams ever have. The plan was simple: be bad, stockpile picks, develop the young guys, repeat until championship. What made it complicated was Chris Paul. When the Thunder traded Westbrook, they received CP3 in return, a 34-year-old future Hall of Famer on the worst contract in the NBA. The dude was supposed to be an obstacle, a salary problem, a walking reminder of how bad the previous era ended. Instead, he was brilliant. Charles Barkley had long called Paul the best leader in the NBA, and CP3 proved it all over again.
Paul again comes off a foul to stop the action.
Oh yeah.
So he could head over to the bench.
Oh, the left hand nutmegging. And what you like about it, in the words of Shaq, he said, listen, are you not entertained?
Finishing 7th in MVP voting, making the All-NBA second team, and dragging OKC to a 5th place finish in the West, they almost beat Harden and Westbrook's Rockets in the first round too, losing Game 7 104 to 102, which honestly is just a very Chris Paul way to exit the playoffs. But here's the thing, even though CP3 technically delayed the tank, he accidentally did 2 things that were invaluable. First, he mentored Shai. Every day SGA had a front row seat to watch the best pure point guard of his generation work. Shai's numbers jumped to a team-leading 19 points per game that season.
Trying to size up Russell. Oh, what a nifty move. Found enough space as he chisels his way to the rim.
Can we say hang time?
You know, everybody's getting involved. Look at this nice little development here and the scoop shot.
Second, Paul's excellent play restored his trade value to a level nobody expected. So Presti traded him to Phoenix for a collection of young players and future picks, and then traded most of those players for even more picks. The man was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers, and a little bit of Jenga because he was absolutely dismantling things on purpose. At one point, 22 different players suited up for the Thunder in a single season. The locker room was basically a bus station. Players were coming and going so fast that some of them probably never learned where the bathroom was, building the monster. While all the chaos was was happening around him, Presti was quietly assembling the foundation that would eventually win a championship, and the template he used was unusual. Instead of chasing scores and offensive talent, Presti prioritized length, athleticism, and defense. The philosophy was straightforward. You can teach a great defender to shoot, but you cannot teach a great shooter to defend. So every pick, every signing, every trade was filtered through that lens. Luguentz Dort came in undrafted, built like an actual tank, and played defense like it was a personal vendetta. He wasn't lighting up the scoreboard, but he made opposing players genuinely miserable, which is honestly an underrated skill. Kenrich Williams, another undrafted piece, was similarly undersized for a power forward, but compensated with the kind of hustle that earns you a nickname. No further explanation needed. Then there was the coaching change. Billy Donovan, an old school win-now coach, was replaced by Mark Daigneault, a 35-year-old who had spent 5 years coaching the Oklahoma City Blue in the G League, the second youngest head coaching hire in NBA history. He was a defensive-minded, player-first coach who could make adjustments on the fly and connect with young players in a way that older coaches sometimes struggle to do. Presti found his guy in the 2021 season, with SGA developing into a legitimate scorer, averaging career highs across the board.
At the buzzer, and right now, it should count. And what a finish to this third quarter with a flurry of offense. Seconds, thanks to this. SGA at
The Thunder lost 60 games. Mission accomplished. They had the second best lottery odds. Then they slipped to 6th in the draft lottery. Typical Thunder luck. But with that 6th pick, they selected Josh Giddey from Melbourne, Australia.
The 6th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Josh Giddey from Melbourne, Australia, and the NBA Global Academy in Canberra, Australia.
A 6'8" point guard with elite vision. Then they also snagged Alexei Pokusevski and Trey Mann. Presti even found Aaron Wiggins deep in the second round, because at this point finding hidden gems was basically his hobby. The following year brought more losing, more developing, more stockpiling. SGA was blossoming into something special, averaging 24 points and 6 assists per game, with the full freedom to make mistakes and figure himself out. The Thunder finished with 24 wins, their second worst offensive rating in the league, and this time, the lottery gods smiled on them. With the second overall pick in 2022, they selected Chet Holmgren, a 7'2" center from Gonzaga who moved like a guard and blocked shots like it was a video game. With the 12th pick, they took Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara, which most analysts considered a reach at the time. It was not a reach. And with the 34th pick, they grabbed another long switchable defender, because of course they did. Before Chet ever played a single NBA minute though, he stepped wrong during a Pro-Am pickup game in Seattle, trying to contest a LeBron layup and blew out his foot. His entire rookie season was gone before it started. The Thunder just nodded, filed it under annoying but manageable, and kept building. The year it all clicked, even without Holmgren, the 2023 season was a coming out party. 4 points per game, made his first All-Star appearance, earned all NBA first team honors, and finished 5th in MVP voting. Jalen Williams emerged as a genuine contributor, averaging 14 points with phenomenal defense. The Thunder finished 40-42, made the play-in, and proved they were no longer a development project. They were a real basketball team, 3 blocks per game, and the whole thing started clicking. SGA went back and forth with Nikola Jokic all season for the MVP award, which ultimately went to Jokic, though plenty of people thought that was the wrong call. Jalen Williams stepped up to nearly 20 points a game. The Thunder won 57 games and finished with the best record in the West. They swept the Pelicans in the first round of the playoffs, then ran into Dallas in the second round, where the Mavericks exposed some real weaknesses. OKC couldn't rebound consistently and couldn't defend the three-point line at a high enough level. Dallas won in 6. Presti saw the holes and immediately went to work plugging them. He signed Isaiah Hartenstein to the biggest free agent contract in Thunder history to address the rebounding problem. He traded Josh Giddey to Chicago for Alex Caruso to bolster perimeter defense and add someone who had actually won a championship before. He also drafted Nikola Topic with the full knowledge that Topic would miss the entire season with a torn ACL, because at this point Presti was just collecting assets the way some people collect parking tickets. The rebuild was complete, the roster had no obvious weaknesses, and the 2025 season was about to begin. The year of the Thunder Oklahoma City opened the 2025 season by winning 7 straight games. Through the first 41 games, they had just 7 losses. At one point late in the season, a 7 70-win season was genuinely on the table, which would have put them in the company of the 2016 Warriors and the 1996 Bulls. They backed off the gas once the number 1 seed was locked up, finishing 68-14. Still the 5th best regular season record in NBA history. Their defensive rating was the best in the league, 7 points per game off turnovers, while allowing the fewest fast break points on the other end. In basically every meaningful defensive category, the Thunder were at or near the top. SGA was on another planet. 4 points per game, shooting nearly 50-40-90, career highs in assists and rebounds, 7 steals and a block per game on defense. He won the MVP award, the scoring title, and was the undisputed best player in basketball. The haters still tried to call him a foul-baiting free throw merchant, which is a genuinely stupid take, considering he attempted fewer free throws per game in the playoffs than Dwyane Wade did in his 2006 championship run. Some narratives refuse to die no matter how much evidence kills them. 6 other Thunder players averaged double figures in scoring, 6 points per game, and earned all NBA third-team honors. The Thunder had become exactly what Presti designed them to be: deep, unselfish, defensively suffocating, and led by 2 legitimate stars. When it actually mattered, the 2025 playoffs started with OKC winning Game 1 against Memphis by 51 points. 51. That's not a basketball game, that's a crime scene. Game 2 was another blowout. Then in Game 3, the Grizzlies led by 29 at halftime, Ja Morant got hurt, and OKC completed the 2nd largest comeback in playoff history. Then they swept Memphis and moved on. The Denver series was a different animal. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets were not going quietly. Denver stole Game 1 on a last-second Aaron Gordon dunk. OKC crushed them by 43 in Game 2. When the series moved to Colorado, Denver won again. Game 4 was the series. If Denver wins, they're up 3-1 and it's basically over. The first quarter of that game had both teams combining for just 25 points, tied for the lowest combined first quarter in playoff history. Denver led by 6 after 3 quarters, and then OKC's defense just locked in. Cassius Stanley hit big threes off the bench, SGA took over scoring in the 4th, and the Thunder won a game they absolutely had to have. Both teams won their subsequent home games, forcing a Game 7 in Oklahoma City. Alex Caruso spent the entire game making Jokic's life miserable, denying him the ball and disrupting his rhythm. With Aaron Gordon playing on one leg, the Nuggets fell apart. OKC won 125-93 against Minnesota in the conference finals. The Thunder won the first 2 games by double digits, got absolutely destroyed in Game 3 by 42 points, which, fair enough, then won the critical game for 128-126 on 40 from SGA and 34 from Jalen Williams. They closed out the Wolves at home and punched their ticket to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. The Indiana Pacers were waiting, scrappy, deep, playing at a chaotic pace with enough shooting to make life genuinely uncomfortable for OKC's defense. The Pacers stole Game 1 on a Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater after trailing the whole game. OKC won Game 2, Indiana took Game 3 at home. The Thunder were in danger of going down 2-1 in a series they were supposed to control. Game 4 followed the formula. SGA and Jalen Williams combined for 62, Alex Caruso went 7 of 9 off the bench for 20 points, and the Thunder tied it up. Game 5 will be remembered as the Jalen Williams game. He scored 40 points on 14 of 25 shooting, hitting every shot that mattered, and OKC took a 3-2 lead. Indiana won Game 6 in a blowout to even it back up. Then in Game 7, Halliburton came out with 9 points in the first 6 minutes, and it looked like Indiana might actually do it. Then he collapsed to the floor without anyone touching him, grabbed his calf, and the arena went silent, torn Achilles. Without their best player, the Pacers fought as hard as they could, but OKC's defense slowly strangled the life out of the series. The Thunder won 103-91 and became NBA champions, 6 blocks per game in the playoffs. He won Finals MVP, regular season MVP, scoring title, Finals MVP, all in the same season. That had only been done before by Kareem, Jordan, and Shaq. Not bad for a guy nobody was sure about when he was averaging 10 points in his rookie year. What comes next here is the part that should frighten the rest of the NBA. The Thunder won the championship with the 6th cheapest roster in the league, 6 years old on average. Throughout the entire playoff run, the youngest champion in NBA history. Some of their players literally had their first drink of alcohol from the championship celebration champagne, and they still own 13 first-round picks and 17 second-round picks over the next 6 years. The second apron restrictions that are currently breaking up rosters around the league, Oklahoma City has cap space. They have flexibility. They have young players still on rookie deals. They're in a position that almost no championship team has ever been in, which is to say they could get significant significantly better. Sam Presti wrote a letter in 2019 promising patience and discipline. He delivered both. He delivered a championship with a 24-year-old roster, a cost-controlled payroll, and a future war chest that makes every other front office nervous. Marc Degnaud turned a bunch of long switchable defenders into the most suffocating defensive unit in recent memory. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the wiry Canadian kid who came over in a trade that most people barely noticed, became one of the most complete players the league has seen in years. The dynasty that OKC was supposed to have in 2012 never happened. The dynasty they're building now might actually be real. If you like watching this, you are gonna love what comes next for this team because honestly, they're just getting started.